he would receive a deadly wound. A deadly wound. When did that happen? The Pope rose to power and took over Rome as a kingdom in 538 AD. When did I say? The Bible says he would exercise power for 1260 years. That brings you to 1798 AD. And here is the thing I want you to carry home with you. Precisely on time, precisely when the Bible said, precisely in 1798, Napoleon Bonaparte, you ever hear of him? He had a general whose name was Berthier. He sent him down to Rome and took the Pope prisoner in 1798 and put him into exile in France. And in 1799, the Pope died of sickness. The deadly wound was inflicted. For a brief time, there was no head of the Roman Church. It's history. General Berthier, the very year the Bible said, took him a prisoner, put him in Valence, France, as an exile, and he died the next year. But immediately, the Bible says, the deadly wound would be healed. The very next year, 1798, 1799, 1800, the very next year, they elected another pope, and the healing got started. But he had no real power until 1929. When did I say? At that time, a man in Italy by the name of Benito Mussolini, you ever hear of him? He signed a concordat at Rome giving the Pope back not a whole city, but 100 acres called the Vatican. And the deadly wound was healed. And the Bible says after that, the whole world wondered after the beast. The whole world! I have seen the President of the United States bow before the head of his church. He never bowed before the head of the Baptist church, nor the head of the Methodist church, nor the head of any other church. But I have seen presidents of this country bow. The Bible says all the world wondered. And if he did it here, which is a rather new thing, then think of all those nations that have been under the influence of the church for so long. They had their ambassadors in place long before we did. When Roosevelt tried to do it, they talked about impeaching him. When Ronald Reagan tried to do it, there was not a word of remonstrance from anybody. I wrote 10 letters to congressmen and senators. All of them answered me. And the only one that understood what I was talking about was Jesse Helms of North Carolina. And I hate to agree with him on anything. The deadly wound was inflicted in 1798. The Protestant Reformation had been moving with power since the middle of the 16th century. And now in 1798, Napoleon Bonaparte, himself a Catholic, sent his general down, took the Pope prisoner. The deadly wound was inflicted. He died the next year. And the following year, a new Pope was elected, and the world began to wonder after the beast. Now, Martin Luther enunciated the principles of Protestantism perhaps more boldly than anybody else. And he said Protestantism is founded on the Bible and the Bible only. Now I want you to say that with me. The Bible and the Bible only.